Welcome to the big debate. 1 hour to analyze what's happening in cycling and to hear opinions.
What they're fighting over is who will be behind them to get a better position. They're no longer interested in Pogačar.
Here we discuss.
What will Ineos do against Pogačar in the Tour de France? Let's see what happens, or if he falls.
No, it's the podium. No.
Over there, the race is already happening. The race is already being decided.
It's argued that Isabel Toro made a mistake with such a fast start. Neves.
No, I don't think she was wrong.
And the passion for cycling is also shared. Enjoy it and take sides.
At the Riachon Cooperative, World Cup excitement makes your dreams come true. Save, get your loan, and win amazing prizes.
I'm Mariana Pajon, and with GW, I won my 3 Olympic medals. Since then, I've enjoyed every moment on my bike. Because the best gift will always be a bicycle. And at GW, you find everything.
When you're about to start your first job, we say yes, so you can show up in style. Buy your favorite clothes in installments. And change the story with a yes. Cise Credit.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are. Well, here we begin with the debate. First of all, we want to apologize to the people who are watching the Ciclismo en Grande broadcast this morning. Codautor. And we have actually received a notification from the organization that holds the broadcasting rights for the Tour de France, saying that we have violated copyright. Well, we really haven't shown any videos or anything like that from the race, nor have we gone live from there. And that's why we're going to try to file a counter notification to try to restore our service. But anyway, the first penalty they're going to give us is that we won't be able to broadcast for 8 days during the Tour de France. Well, let's see what steps we can take. But anyway, today we witnessed a spectacular stage. Finished in first place. Isaac del Toro lost contact today. Looked much more like the others. I mean, he wasn't the outlier. He looks more like the others. Vingegaard is just like Renko, just like Lipowitz. Well, I don't know what's going on with Vingegaard. And the other thing about the cyclist, Remco Evenepoel.
You do know what's going on with him. I told you a while ago what's happening to Vingegaard. I told you, and it's written there on the website. And I also wrote today about Remco today. So you do know.
You just heard the voice of Chemo Quiroz, who came out here to talk about the topic. I mean, just from him alone.
This is a debate. You say that I don't know what's wrong with him. If he ran the year.
Last year, let him represent the people.
He rode the Giro. He won the Vuelta. He won the Giro. How could he be? Oh, I said it.
What happened, Neves?
No. I mean that he should let you introduce all of us.
Well,
This is the... No.
he came in claiming he doesn't know what's wrong with Vingegaard. But he actually.
Neves. Good afternoon, my dear Neves.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Honestly, today we saw a beautiful, exciting stage. 25 victories in the Tour for Tadej Pogačar. And I think today we've seen a lot of things that we'll discuss later. A lot of positives and a few negatives. So there have been some riders who were affected and others who pleasantly surprised us, as was the case with Renko Evenepoel.
Exactly. Today the San Fermin festivities come to an end.
Thank you. Please don't let him cry.
Exactly 6 hours left, and 5 hours. 5 hours until the festivities are over. Don't get ahead of me. 5 hours until the San Fermin festivities are over and we sing Pobre de mí. But before that, we have to settle the matter of Spain versus France. We'll be very focused after the debate and after La Voz del Ciclismo. Well, 3 little things to start with. It's a shame about that fall because it would have been interesting. Isaac del Toro ended up paying for it because of his leader's strength and Seixas' work. Pay attention to what Seixas did today. And I think they had that planned. And the third one, well, Remco Evenepoel was falling behind and found strength out of nowhere. There was a moment when he lowered his head in anger and managed to catch up to that group to keep that second place. I mean, that third place. So those three main characters. Very interesting what we saw today.
Thank you. And I have to say that even though it sounds strange, 7th place in today's stage, Vingegaard. Jonas Vingegaard. But before Chemo Quiroz shouts again.
But we keep returning to the same thing, Pegatina. That little group over there, why don't they take a turn? They could have made much more progress. Why don't they take a turn? I just don't get it. No.
We'll discuss how it seems they decided to let Pogačar win, while everyone else just defended and aimed for second place. Good afternoon, Mr. Lucho. They barely let you say hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Lucho Escobar.
Good afternoon. The one who's really upset today is Remco Evenepoel, despite the 6 seconds he pocketed. But today, I think the person Remco Evenepoel is upset with isn't anyone else, but Florian Lipowitz again. Today, when Remco was struggling in a tough moment, the man latched onto Vingegaard. He didn't pay any attention to where they were, how they were doing, or what was happening to him. Then the man comes in second and rubs it in his face. Look, brother, look, I'm right here. And he finishes second in the stage and gets a 6-second bonus and moves on to the podium. That little problem inside the Red Bull Bora team is still going on. Still going on. And watch out for the situation with Jonas Vingegaard. Today he lost a very important man in the descent. Matteo Jorgensen went down. And today he was practically left alone. The only one who stayed with him there was Piganzoli, and Piganzoli arrived behind him. Behind him, 1 minute and 58 seconds. Behind him in the general classification, in the stage, he lost 2:42. But he arrived 1 minute 58 behind Jonas Vingegaard himself. He was left all alone, and Jorgensen's crash. I'm not saying that's why he lost so much time, but he's losing a key teammate who may not start tomorrow's stage.
Among other things, my dear Lucho, Remco Evenepoel took 18 seconds off because we can't talk about first place anymore. We have to start talking about second, right? And we thought Vingegaard was going to win, according to the second place. Far from it. And it turns out that Mr. Vingegaard apparently didn't today. Today wasn't the day. And the day before, when he was also attacked by Del Toro and Pogačar, it seemed like that wasn't the day either. Mr. Chemo Quiroz. Now, yes, I see him much calmer, more relaxed. Good afternoon.
Did he take Valerian?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to talk about 3 topics. Please pay attention to me.
But very briefly,
This is where guarantees may arise.
Vingegaard is in his 4th race from before he started the Giro d'Italia. If I had told them that, I have doubts about his future in cycling. Mind you, I doubt his cycling future. The effort he made to finish second. In last year's tour, he won the Vuelta a España. He won the Giro d'Italia, and here he is giving it his all. The Tour de France. Ooh, I doubt it. I even doubt he'll finish in the top 5 in this tour.
But buddy, you said first. I have it here. I can put first, second Vingegaard, and that's it.
It's normal. Not me. That's just a prediction.
Well,
but a prediction is what you say, what you can do. Well, honestly, I'm analyzing what I've been seeing since last year, and I've been saying it. You know I've been saying it. Second, today when we started the broadcast, I repeated the comment that's written on the website. Watch out for Remco. Remember? Yes, sir. Watch out for Remco. Yes, sir. He got through the Tourmalet. Well, today he had problems because it wasn't really other problems. I didn't see him pedaling badly. I just saw him suffering from the heat. Yes. So. And then he arrived.
That's why, but I'm going to be honest. In that case, I agree with what Neve said. I have Remco behind me. Arrival in the individual standing. I have two men from the team, number 2 and number 3, who are Esquimors and Ayuso, then Seixas and Vingegaard, and they weren't pulling.
That's why no. That's why I don't agree with what Lucho said. That's why I don't agree with what Lucho said. I saw Filippo looking back many times.
And besides, he attacked and stopped. He attacked, but watch out. Watch out.
He looked back after the other guy had already been dropped. No.
He looked at least.
When he was left behind. Because when he was left behind,
They believe they have the absolute truth, regardless of what they see or what the replay shows.
when I saw him looking at least 3 times.
And Lucho.
Don't watch the replay. I don't watch it even once.
Let's save that for later and discuss it soon. I want to finish my topic first. Remco Evenepoel. If he can handle it, I think he will. Although this weekend is very tough for him. If he can handle it, he's the runner-up of the Tour. Well, for now, because watch out for the third point I'm going to tell you. Today I have a lot of doubts that Pogačar will win this Tour. Today I have doubts because he's here.
Oh, I'm choking.
He's running like he shouldn't. This race, because today I thought he looked good. If you said
that Renko was going to be second, then who do you think is going to come in first?
That's why I'm telling you. Today I have doubts. I said I have doubts. Not because he's not the best, but because he's overworking himself. And one of these days, when he least expects it, they'll catch him off guard and take the race from him. Watch out for what I'm telling you.
Allow me to say you're right, and allow me just one thing. Iñaki, what have I told you in private?
Yes, well, yes. But today... But there are nuances to this. The grandpa...
Today we're enjoying him. I'm still enjoying him. Pogačar. But I'm afraid that with this move he's making, we haven't even reached the tough stages of the Tour. Just one in the Tourmalet stage. And today he needed to do what he did. He needed to wear out his own teammate.
And I don't agree either.
So let's hope he doesn't choke on the road, that he doesn't get caught by the heat later on, and that he doesn't end up paying for his boldness. Because I think what he did today was bold. Those are 3 points I wanted to cover. I'll leave you in peace now, especially after that last one.
Point. Yes, Chemo. On that last point, I agree with you. Because when you look at the differences in seconds, you see that it was only 32 seconds and he left with 15 kilometers to go. 32 seconds. And at 34, we have him out since before the Tour de France even started.
No, he says he has to retire and that he should leave. No, that's where it's going to end.
Oh, I still think the same. I still think so. He's an extraordinary rider.
You go point by point.
I think he should withdraw. He's going to withdraw from the Tour. He's going to withdraw. Just imagine.
Well, I need to go point by point.
He placed third in the stage, but now has to withdraw. Let's see. No.
Girl, I didn't say he has to. Let me go point by point. He says that at 19 years old, he can't handle the toughness of the Tour.
Let's take a look.
Let me go point by point. Okay, let me go point by point. Order Renko. Order Renko. Order. And I totally agree with Lucho here. Why? Because I'm convinced that Renko has a huge conflict with Lipovic. What Chemo says about looking back 3 times. Of course he looked back 3 times. And 4 if necessary. After he caused the damage, they told him through the earpiece, hey, what are you doing? And that's when he really started looking back.
You saw that race. I saw a different one.
Renko had to go on the attack for a moment.
It's attacked and dropped his teammate Renko from Bel Pol of the district who was coming. That's true. And then they had to call him from the car to say, hey, but where are you going? Where are you?
In fact, there's a point where he did the damage. The start was, of course, there is a moment when he caused the damage. The sudden start was where he caused the damage. Exactly.
You can see Renko going alone, dropped. He sees them on a curve and makes this gesture like saying, he did it to me again. Which is the typical reaction when you lie down with kids who wet the bed or get up. Well, that's the case.
And then they go and show us a wonderful and lovely video of the bus saying how much I love you, how much I don't love you. Venga.
Second topic, we thought, and Isaac del Toro is leaving. Chemo, Isaac del Toro gets dropped by Decathlon's attack.
Exactly.
It leaves him hanging.
Let's talk about Decathlon because he's not his partner.
He's not Pogacar's partner. Wait, it's the attack from Decathlon that dropped Adam Yates and dropped Isaac del Toro to such an extent
Exactly.
that already
Today,
the gentleman we say is going to abandon the race, Mr. Paul Seixas, the one we say is going to abandon the race. It turns out that in the youth classification, which is one of the standings that best reflects where this group is in the race, it is led by Juan Ayuso. Seixas is 13 seconds behind, who made out very well. And now Isaac del Toro is in third place. And in the overall individual standings, it turns out that Mr. Paul Seixas is now fifth at 4 minutes 35, and Mr. Isaac del Toro drops to seventh position at 5:08. Look, Mr. Prudhomme and Mr. Seixas benefited from that attack, in my opinion.
What you and I talked about before is what we talked about.
And the third point, which we discussed with Neves, ask Mr. Richard Carapaz if he thinks Mr. Tadej Pogacar looks weak, since he tried to stand on the pedals to catch his slipstream, and he wasn't even able to do it. I mean, no. I couldn't disagree more with all three things. And with this, just no.
Just a moment. Iñaki, I'll tell you three things. I absolutely agree with you about the time gaps. Yes, who took more? Yes, the other one. Yes, the Carapaz couldn't keep up. Today, at the beginning of the broadcast, I said, because they asked, will Del Toro take it? Yes or no? Do you remember? And I said, nobody follows him. Nobody follows him. I said it today. Well, I'm not talking, my dear Iñaki, about what's real, about what's actually in the general classification. Talking about what's going on inside the riders. And I'll repeat it. I have doubts about Pogacar because he's racing poorly. I'm not wrong about that. He's racing badly. There was no reason for his actions today. And that in the middle of this heat is going to hurt him, and nature is going to make him pay for it. I'm not wrong about that. And I dare to say it, even though he's the mighty Pogacar. He's hurting. But today he's in second place. He's still in second place. Did you see him racing today? Did he see you running today? How is he doing? He's carrying the weight of what he's done on his shoulders. But that's why he's a phenomenon. That's why he's there. He's a phenomenon.
But he's alone. He hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped.
they cut the gap to him every day. They're already down to 30.
That's why he should be riding on Pogacar wheel like usual. But with that blow he took this past year, he can't. He can't, because humans don't have a limit. Limits. Humans do have limits. About Renko. Renko prepared himself to race this Tour de France. He's skinny. Did you see him? That's what I'm saying. As for Renko, he'll still have enough to surpass Vingegaard in the time trial and get closer to Pogacar. Seixas is doing very well. I still hope, and I'm rooting for him to maybe win a stage. But it's better for him to withdraw than to finish the Tour, for his own sake. I'm not talking about the time gaps today. I'm talking about what's inside each of the riders. That's my analysis. That's my analysis.
It's because of what's coming. People are talking about what's coming in the future.
Because of what's inside each runner, Luchito. I'm not that kind of commentator. Me. That's the difference. Yes, and you have to respect it and the history and everything you want. But I don't think so. If I were Bora's coach, if Renko gets dropped, I'm not going to stop Hipogui. Forget about that.
Why? Because that's not the point, Chemo. The point is that Hipogui dropped Renko.
That's why. But then he looked back and eased up. Neves just explained why they didn't help Biringa. Because they couldn't.
Well, that's what she said.
Because she didn't help him.
That's what you say. But I disagree. You didn't have anyone. No one.
I say if I have those two runners and one of them falls behind, I'm going to stop the other one. I can't do it.
It wasn't about stopping him. Chemo, it was about doing a job.
But, well, now there's something between the two of them, and we'll talk again once we analyze it. I said what happens is that everyone has their own soft spot deep down. He was third in the Tour. Renko was also third in the Tour. So.
But who's ahead in the standings, Chemo? Who's ahead in the standings? Listen,
Iñaki, first of all, I want to say that I don't agree today with Chemo Quiroz that either the team or Pogačar raced very badly. On the contrary, he raced too well, and I'm going to explain why.
I said he raced badly. Just a moment. I said he raced badly.
Yes.
That's what I said.
Está corriendo
como no se debe correr.
No, pero le voy a explicar.
Hoy gastó algo que no tiene que gastar. Pero si llegó primero y ganó y afianzó su liderato, puede correr mal.
Hemos dicho, déjeme, pero es que ya le dejamos hablar a usted.
Yo no he dicho que corrió mal.
No, pero a ver, en primer lugar, hemos dicho, y usted también, que hay que sacarle más tiempo a Vingegaard. Hoy el planteamiento fue ese. Yo había dicho que hoy era o soltar la rienda.
He's doing it, either loosening or tightening the reins. The UAE team tightened the reins and kept those breaking away in check. Do you know with how many kilometers to go Pogačar attacked today? At 15 kilometers at 15. Not at 40. Not at 30. Not at 60. Not at 70. Not at 70, just 15. 15 kilometers. He raced smart. He pretty much saved it all for the last 15 kilometers. And he made the difference, broke away, and won the stage. Also, because they aim to reach 100 victories. And if Mr. Winninger doesn't contribute in the real mountain stages, then they won't reach 100 so easily.
With today's win, they have 56. They have 56 victories.
Exactly, Lucho. So Bing Winninger gave a real masterclass today on how to race smart. Because only
with 15 kilometers to go,
Pogačar, with 15 kilometers to go, Pogačar raced smart. He only attacked. I mean, he didn't attack from far away or anything. No, he's pacing himself. I mean, with 15 kilometers, I've got enough to win the stage.
But understand me, I never said at any moment that today, no. Extraordinary. And I said it here, I enjoyed it, didn't I? I just said I enjoyed it. I said it 5 times.
Because he's racing badly.
What happens is that he's running the way you shouldn't run when you're facing such a tough race. Barely. You said, or to no one.
He said we needed more time ahead of Winninger, or he had gained more time on him.
That's why. But you see, you notice, that's how it is. So you have to keep analyzing. I've been saying this for 2 months. Watch out for Vingegaard in the Tour because he might arrive very tired from what he's done.
And he's second. Now,
Today. Now that I said what I said about Pogačar, Neves managed to say, and I choked. Why? Oh, because nobody else is saying this, but I'm seeing it. And I'll say again what I just said. I'm not wrong about that. Let's see how far Pogačar will go. And if he keeps racing, now it's possible that he might stop. Now, right?
No.
Like he said last year. Like he did last year.
I'm telling you right away.
Last year, he won stages 13 and 14 and stayed quiet. He showed up on the last day in Paris.
No, but I'll tell you. He's going to stay quiet on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then he shows up again on Saturday. On Saturday, Pogačar reappears and wins again. On Sunday, Pogačar shows up and wins again.
And on Friday, play the Medellin lottery. Tell me who wins, what number wins.
No, but you're telling me then, when is it going to stop? I'm saying right now, just like you're predicting, I'm going to predict too. Wednesday.
So he wins, then he wins the stages on Saturday and Sunday, right? Yes?
Sir, yes, sir.
Let's wait. There's an issue. There's an important issue because as Neves was saying before we went on air, she says she sees Pogačar weaker than in previous years. I don't see him weaker. I see him smarter, more
smarter. I agree with that too.
Who puts his efforts where he should put them. That's my perception. And I'll say it again.
There are people who criticize Enya here because he attacked in one of those stages with 40 kilometers to go. So be careful. That's right.
But ask Carapaz what he saw with 200 meters left to reach the summit. On the climb, what's more? He broke away with 1 kilometer left and closed the gap in under a kilometer.
Sure, but I think we should keep applauding
Carapaz.
today because he did. I think Pogačar is the most impatient man. A great race, just a
Great race, fulfilling, of course. But there was a moment when, with 200 meters left to the top, he saw a man in yellow go by, and he didn't even have time to react. Exactly. He didn't even have time to react.
And let's not forget about Ayuso either, who worked very well today. Ayuso worked very well. No.
He worked. No, he stayed there with Matthias de Ergemols in the Claro group.
Well, that's why he worked well.
Did they work? No, they didn't work. No, because working means getting in front of that little group and pulling, taking advantage of those coming from behind, opening gaps. They didn't do that. They let others take responsibility.
Juan Ayuso had to pace himself today. Reaching the top of the climb, he was doing more. And it was Ergemols who was leading him, right? Even when he was with Egan. At that moment, the man saw that he still didn't have enough strength in his legs and had to pace himself.
Because you have to rely on others. And they handed the responsibility to Vingegaard and Decathlon. The others didn't make a move.
Well, but today's stage turned out perfectly for Decathlon.
Of course.
The big winners.
The big winners. And they dropped riders they hadn't expected to drop.
But just imagine, Seixas was third in the stage. Then, it's the first time he's rested in a cycling race. This is the first time he's rested. After the rest, he came and finished third behind Remco Evenepoel. I mean, it's extraordinary. Here, what people are wondering is, what happened to Del Toro today? I'll start with Neves. What's your opinion? What happened to Del Toro?
Well, I think Kimo is right about one thing. It's not that I see him as excessively young, because, well, he's already experienced in many of these battles. But the heat, for me, I think Del Toro is paying the price. I think it's taking a toll on him. And besides that, we have to admit that Decathlon put together a plan. And what happened was that one of the people affected was Del Toro. Precisely, for me, those two things are important.
Let's see. Iñaki, Del Toro also had a crisis day in the Giro d'Italia after a rest day.
He had one today too. Remember?
Do you remember the Giro d'Italia, my dear Iñaki? Rest day, and the next day he had trouble.
Okay, but today Isaac Del Toro had to do a lot of very important work as a domestique. Because while his teammates were pulling the group, he had to go down to the car to get water, to get supplies, and bring them to the guys who were up front pulling. Then the situation that Neves mentioned happens, where the Decathlon guys come in and start dropping UAE riders, and they're very effective at that moment. And first, they get rid of Yates. And then the next one to fall at that moment is McNulty. At the moment of Tadej Pogačar's attack, with 15 kilometers and 500 meters to go, it's Del Toro himself. And being as smart as he is, he says, well, let's minimize losses here. And he sticks with Tom Pidcock. He knew that with his descending skills and the way he was going to tackle those last kilometers, the British rider was going to take him along. Luckily, Lenny Martinez was also there. And so in some way, they were able to minimize the losses. Then they caught up with Richard Carapaz, and with about 800 meters to go, he left everyone behind. That is to say, Isaac is not completely done yet, as one might think, but he did pay the price for the huge effort of having to act as a domestic for the men who were pulling the peloton. And then the attack that was favorable. For me, it was fabulous. One of the best things today from the Decathlon team, which took down two very important riders from UAE.
All right, Mr. Lucho, what do you think about what happened to El Toro today?
For me, what happened to El Toro today was a crisis. He struggled climbing the last mountain pass. And in fact, he caught up. He stayed with Pidcock, with Lenny Martinez, as you already mentioned, with Richard Carapaz. He caught his second wind and noticed that when he reached the finish line, he arrived ahead of Pidcock Martinez and even put 28 or 29 seconds on Thomas Del Pico. That's when he dropped them again, when they were already within the last 2 kilometers to the finish line. He tried, he went for it. He caught his second wind and he was able to overcome that crisis he had. He held on because obviously we saw it this week. Don't try to follow. And Chimo said it. Don't try to follow Pogačar. He'll blow you up. And that was the idea, but he couldn't do it. And today he had his crisis. Call it because of the temperature, call it because of the effort, call it whatever you want. But he had to stop and intelligently pace himself. And in the end, he came back and launched an attack and finished ahead of Pitco Martinez, Carapaz, and company, gaining 29 seconds on them. He finished 8th on the stage, behind Jonas Vingegaard.
Exactly. That's what I was going to point out. Imagine Vingegaard finished 7th, 44 seconds behind. But the one who came after them was Isaac del Toro, because he had fallen behind. And many cyclists had passed him. But he reacted a bit, finished 8th, and lost 47 seconds to Vingegaard. So the rider in 8th place finished 47 seconds back. I think the detail, my dear Iñaki mentioned, is right. You're correct. When Isabel comes down, it seems the decathlon riders were told that Isaac del Toro had dropped back to get water. And that's when decathlon changed the pace, making it really hard for Isaac del Toro to get back on. Let's see, Mr. Chimo, what happened to Isaac del Toro?
Iñaki explained it very clearly. I want to answer your question with another question as well. What position would Isaac del Toro be in if he weren't on the UAE team?
He could be 3rd.
There you go. That's the answer. There you go. That's the answer, Edgar.
I wouldn't have needed to get water.
I wouldn't have had to go get water. They came to the Tour de France to win the 5th Tour with Pogačar. Besides, they don't care. Del Toro did what he did today because he wanted to. Jay doesn't do it. Jay stayed to rest and the others stayed to rest. Because Pogačar, when he sees that everyone has already made their effort, they give everything he asks of them. He says, well, now the race is mine, and he either goes or stays with them or does whatever he wants. But if Isabel del Toro came today, he dropped off because he still hopes to finish in the top 10. But if he doesn't, it's not a big deal. If he doesn't win the young rider classification, that's fine too. That's the explanation for what's happening with del Toro, right? He doesn't have any obligation for any of that, right? Today he was saying no. That is to see if he takes him and ends up 2nd. He doesn't follow him either.
You know what happens, Kemo? I think Del Toro has taken it too much to heart, too much responsibility when they've told him he has to be the support rider for Tadej Pogačar. Taken it too much to heart, saying, I have to help him because I know he'll help me later. And it's not like that. And it's not like that. That's where the problem is. Their needs are the same. Or the
maybe they've already discussed doing the 1-2 on the team. Maybe they go 1-2.
No. Yes, they've talked about it. Of course they've talked about it. But that's what I mean, Lucho. What I mean is that he's taken it too much to heart. I mean, he's gone at it with a lot of intensity. And of course, it's clear that he can't do that if he wants to keep up with Pogačar. It's just what Chimo says. Look at Dan James. Look at the other one.
Everyone arrives later. And what's his name? Del Toro decided today to push ahead too, to hurry up as well. Notice what Lucho says. He recovered. And then he said, no, I'm going to go for my own result too. Of course. But at no point can he risk Pogačar's interests for his own benefit. What? Go get water. Go get water, son. Bring in firewood. Go ahead. We have to peel cassava yam, plantain, and potatoes. Go ahead, peel them.
The potatoes.
He has to do it. Why? Because that's his role. He didn't come here as a boss. He came here to help Pogačar win his 5th Tour, and he doesn't have any other obligation. It would be different if he were on another team.
Yes.
If he were on another team, Isabel del Toro would likely be 2nd in the general classification today.
Today, at the start of the race, Mr. Isabel Toro was 3rd in the general classification, right? And he has dropped to 7th place in the general classification. That is, he has fallen 4 positions. So you start doing the math. Lipovic, who is 6th, is 24 seconds ahead. Then there's the rider in 5th, Paul Seixas, and the only thing Neves and Kemo are waiting for is for him to drop out. Well, they're the ones who are... No.
We didn't say that.
No. They're waiting.
No.
They're waiting for that.
No. I've been saying since day one that the best thing for this young guy would be for the team to pull him out halfway through the tour. No, I didn't say that other thing.
Halfway through the tour is at stage 11. So,
Well, I don't know. Tomorrow they should pull out. Tomorrow they should pull out Seixas, according to you, from the team. Tomorrow is halfway. Tomorrow is halfway through the tour.
But that was my opinion. It was my opinion.
No. That's why I'm saying, according to you, they should pull out Mr. Paul Seixas tomorrow since it's halfway.
No, now they won't even take him out given how he is.
That's why I say, so Mr. Paul Seixas is 33 seconds behind in 5th place. The 4th, which is Ayuso, is now 46 seconds ahead of Mr. Isabel del Toro. And Renko Evenepoel is already 1 minute and 2 seconds ahead of Isabel del Toro. Therefore, Mr. Vingegaard is already about 32 seconds ahead. I mean, the hope for that second place, I think, with what happened today, maybe you start to backtrack on whether you really are capable or not. The worst part of the tour is yet to come. Some say the worst or the best. Many would say, right?
No, it's not that he's not capable. What happens is that here in this competition has its own realities. I mean, it's not that I want Seixas to withdraw. Seixas, today he's getting to know the tour. And he's getting to know it in an impressive way.
Impressive.
I hope he wins a stage. Although he hasn't dared to make a move yet. No, he hasn't tried. Because he knows what he's doing. So a rider who is 19 years old, who has already come to the tour, who already knows the tour, can walk away with peace of mind to avoid the superhuman effort he'll have to make to finish it. If he wants to make the superhuman effort, let him.
All I'm saying is it's in his best interest.
And he can leave more at ease if he finishes in the top 5, I think.
Yes, that's why.
There are riders who have had to withdraw while being race leaders for any reason. So the only thing I say is that Seixas is showing just how great he is. But because of his age, because his body, his person is still growing, it's better that he doesn't make such a huge extra effort. Today, we've done how many stages? What stage was today? 10.
10.
There are 11 stages left. The hardest part is yet to come. Yes, that's right. So that's what I'm saying. It's not that he's racing badly and I want him to retire. No. He'd be a phenomenon if he wins the race.
We have data.
He's 19 years old, for God's sake. No. What I'm saying isn't based on the differences. I'm basing it on what's inside each rider. And that's my way of seeing things.
Thank you. Data. In 2020, Tadej Pogačar was 21 years old when he made his debut in the Tour de France. And in stage number 4, he finished second and moved up to 4th place in the general classification. In stage 9, he won the stage and stayed in 7th place. Later, he won stage 15 and moved up to 2nd place. He won stage 20 and won the first Tour de France he competed in. Why, if Tadej Pogačar achieved that feat at just 21, we keep doubting, even though cycling has changed drastically, that a man just over 19 years old can do something like that. Yes, something similar or comparable.
That's why it's 2 years, Iñaki. But things have changed.
It has changed radically.
Before, they used to win. They used to win when they were 27 or 28 years old because that was the normal age. And then it became 21 when Pogačar arrived. Didn't come. No, I'm saying that Paul Seixas, I'm not saying he will win, but that he will finish the tour.
Not only does he finish it, he does it very well. Very well. Just like Mr. Tadej Pogačar finished his first Vuelta a España, when he finished 3rd.
If this young man finishes the tour in the top 10, no one will beat him in next year's tour. Why? Because what I'm saying is that his body is still growing, Iñaki. Pogačar, at 21 years old, was already done growing.
I've been next to Seixas, and as that man is grown, developed, fully formed, everything you can imagine. I've been with him several times, Chemo.
Then he's not still growing.
I'll be damned. I'll be damned. I will be the first to be surprised that the guy finishes the tour and finishes it in the top 10. I would be the first to be surprised. And I would love it. Why? Because I love those kinds of phenoms. But it would be better for him not to finish the tour. I'm saying this for his own good. Why have I been talking about what's happening with Vingegaard? Because he's pushing his body too hard. His body. It's not normal for a guy to race four races, 14 or 15,000 kilometers flat out in a year. It's not normal, nor is it advisable. He's a phenomenon. And look, he's still there. He's not going to finish in the top 5. Why? Because he has pushed his body too much. And look, I really doubt that he'll continue in cycling or that he'll keep performing at the level we know him for.
It already happened with Froome.
It happened with Froome.
Yes, obviously, Lucho. The rider, Mr. Chemo, had predicted to finish second, is already in 5th place. Let's wait and see. Maybe he'll be in 3rd or 4th.
No, Edgar, I'm not.
I'm not watching. You can take it down.
No, don't go making my comments. In the bets that one makes out there, because
When someone says they're second, it's because they think that after a few hours...
he was still in 2nd place. He was in 2nd place, and I'm still talking to you about 2nd place. I'm telling you, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, it wasn't over.
Understand me. Everyone has said that the champion is Pogačar. And it's normal for Pogačar to be the champion. But he's taking more risks than he should. And that's why I have doubts.
Hey, it's ambition.
Listen, Lucho, it's ambition of this era or Pogačar. Look, the one who's really getting the prediction or the proposal right is Remco Evenepoel. Because before all this mess started, he said, I'm going to try to go for 2nd place. And today he's 42 seconds away from 2nd place. And if we apply the analysis that Chimo is making of Vingegaard, well, normally then it would be Pogačar, Vingegaard, and that Vingegaard, and that it would be Ayuso or Seixas who would be on the podium. Lucho. But the reality is that the other one is, yes, sir. Tell me.
No. The reality right now is that when the tour started, we basically thought the fight was going to be between Pogačar and Vingegaard. And today, after 10 stages, everything seems to indicate that Pogačar pulled away and they got closer to Vingegaard. That's more or less the conclusion. Pogačar pulled away and they got closer to Vingegaard. That's where things get interesting. Right, my dear? Che Lucho.
Yes, and we go back to the same thing. Everyone has said the fight here will be for 2nd or 3rd place. And all the teams say the same thing. We go back to what we were talking about this morning at the start of the broadcast. What Mr. Unzue said, what many cyclists have said and been criticized for. Today, the most unpopular person in Ecuador is named Tadej Pogačar. He is the most unpopular person. With 200 meters to go, I went and took the points from Richard Carapaz, who was having an amazing race. Yes, I needed that. I needed it. I didn't even feel like it.
But Lucho Pogačar was defending his mountains classification lead. No,
I agree. No, and he's going to want to take everything in sight. And yes.
Like when he once caught up to Nairo Quintana as he was arriving.
Livigno. I remember that day. Livigno. They also nicknamed Tiberi. They gave Tiberio a nickname too.
They pay him to win.
Yes.
Exactly. But there are different kinds of ambition. Pogačar's ambition is excessive.
Now, I also want to make a special comment, a very special one. Neves, about Ayuso. Ayuso has pleasantly surprised me.
Me too. She has surprised me as well. And look, I'm not pro Ayuso.
I know.
What is Ayuso doing? What is Ayuso doing that's so different from what we used to think of him?
No, it's just that Ayuso hadn't accomplished anything.
Exactly.
In last year's Giro d'Italia, it was a failure.
He still hasn't accomplished anything.
But he's up there, Edgar. He's up front all the time.
But he always has...
Up there at the front.
Hey, he quit. He already quit today. He left grumbling and stomping from UAE, the best team in the world. I'm leaving because they don't respect me. And everyone here is crazy. This guy who... And then he showed up this year at the beginning and won a race. And the next day, in the other one, he crashed and withdrew. Then he came back and withdrew again. And we all had big doubts about whether Ayuso has mental problems. Ayuso hasn't matured. And Ayuso is at this moment, Ayuso is exposed. Fourth in the general classification of the Tour.
16 seconds away from the podium, man.
And he's a great time trialist. Watch out. He's a great time trialist. But
let's see. But let's see, Kimo, if we were talking about the top 10 in the general classification and I turn it around, I see it just like we thought. He's right there in the top 10.
No. I had a lot of doubts about Ayuso.
That's another thing if you had doubt.
Fourth day, another one.
Another thing, open.
Having Pogačar as the leader. That's valid, what Chemo says. Would it be good to have Juan Ayuso as fourth, having Pogačar as the leader?
That's true. So it's not surprising to see Ayuso go from team leader at UAE to leader 3 or leader of the train after he leaves. It's not strange to see him there.
I love it. I love that he's there. And he's showing that he's not as mentally weak as many of us thought or people thought. So the guy is there. I want to make a comment about Ayuso, because Ayuso has had a lot of problems. He even had a problem with his Achilles tendon that took a while to recover from, to get better.
First, he has to deliver, and I hope he finishes the Tour having delivered. Because as Neves has said that thing where in one stage he suddenly feels faint and falls behind. The next day, he shows up winning a stage when he's 30 minutes behind in the general classification.
Well, you're proving me right. You're proving me right. So far, he hasn't fainted. He hasn't fallen behind, and he hasn't been in the fight. Nothing.
When it really counts, when he has to deliver, when the Tour is over.
There. We're 10 stages in. That's why I want to comment.
Don't discuss Pogačar yet. We need to wait for him to finish before calling him the champion, so we can't assume anything.
Sorry about that.
But there's one thing, Lucho, that does catch my attention. There's something that really catches my attention, and it's that those who say that Paul Seixas isn't ready for this level yet, it turns out he's only 13 seconds behind a man who is showing that he is capable. Just 13 seconds. That's valid.
Valid.
So in the end, is it that one is ready and the other isn't, or the other way around?
Yeah, come on. Come on, Iñaki. What I'm saying about Seixas is because of his age, because of his body.
13,
Chemo?
13 seconds.
Huh?
Ayuso is 13 seconds ahead of Seixas.
I hope Seixas wins a stage. He's a phenomenon. What I'm saying is that I think it's very dangerous for him to finish this tour because it's a huge effort for a 19-year-old body.
And I hope he fights for the podium. That's what I hope. You don't, Iñaki.
Yes, Vital. As I'm seeing the rider's progress, I think he can achieve it, especially after what I saw today. Today, I saw a clever strategy from two decathlon riders, since that's about all they have. Because the kid who should be there isn't, and no one expects him to show up. So he's with a weak team, and yet they made the best move of the day.
No, not that weak. Because if they manage to have two riders there, it's because they're not that weak.
Well, and we had 4, and another team had 4.
And you can't see it. The work of the others isn't visible. Today, Foss helped Egan as much as he could.
As the director says, that's fair. But there were 4 from one team and 6 from the other.
How many were from the world's best team?
At that moment, no. At that moment, there were 6. At that moment, there were 6. What happened is that they did the work and only 2 were left. But that's another story.
Oh, that's it. The Trek team did the work in the end. And only 2 made it. Sorry, the Bora team did a great job and only 2 made it.
We've said that Paul César, unfortunately, doesn't have a team. Like Red Bull Bora does, like Trek has, like Bismarck has, like UAE has. And today, with so many limitations on that team, today they made ambitious moves in favor of the cyclist Felix Gall. Sorry, I mean Paul César.
That was it?
That's what I saw. And I think that's the same thing Mr. Iñaki Berrueta saw.
Hey, that's the same thing I saw.
Even with limitations, they still made moves at the end.
Well, I saw it. It's just that I keep saying phenomena. the right thing to say is he's a phenomenon. But for me, I still think he's too young to race the Tour. And it's not just me saying that. Perico Delgado says it. Contador says it. And so do the others and the others and the others. So what I do know is that no one else has said today. I don't know. Now I'm going to read and listen and see if anyone dares to say what I said about Pogačar. Let's see if anyone dares to say it. Because, like I said, the guy in yellow is riding like a king. But watch out. Also,
Chemo, I think it's very hard to find anyone on planet Earth who thinks Pogačar is racing very badly. I think the only one who thinks that is you.
I'm thinking that he's doing too much work. Today, he didn't need to do what he did.
15 kilometers.
Mind you, I'm saying it today. If you want, record it.
15 plus 15 kilometers for you.
I'm not saying he's going to lose the Tour. What I'm saying is that maybe they'll catch him off guard a little further ahead.
I would like to see it.
I would like to see it.
Let me about that whole pants down thing.
Speech. Stop being shameless.
Was saying, yeah, her too.
Yes. No, it's a figure of speech.
Very good.
Well, now then, my dear Neves, we've already heard Lucho's opinion about Vingegaard. What's yours?
Well, I keep saying the same thing. I mean, Vingegaard, in my opinion, the team won the Giro, yes, but they only worked for 5 days. I haven't seen Vingegaard work that much either. At least Vingegaard in the Giro. This race, in the Tour de France, he's not performing like he usually does. Yes, I agree with that too. I agree up to that point. Now, I think Vingegaard is a guy who can recover and maybe reach a little higher. I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's see. We're not even halfway through. Well, yes, halfway through the Tour. So from now on, let's see what happens. And so, well, possibly remember that I said the second and third places were open in the overall standings. So I still stand by what I said.
Well, listen, my dear Iñaki, I had said that it seemed very difficult for Egan Bernal to stay in the top 10. Today, they've already taken away his 10th place, Tomás Picot. But he has also managed to put a little bit of distance between himself and those who were behind him. But anyway, something has to happen for him to get back and make it into the top 10. His teammates have made the effort. They've tried to position him. But honestly, when those who are in the top 10 overall show up, it gets complicated. Isn't that what you saw today?
Yes. Basically because both Van Wilder, Piganzoli, and Johannesen are rivals who are lurking. They were ready to pounce, and we knew that Tomás Picot was going to try it today.
Those guys arrived with him, right? Yes, that's right.
But exactly.
But we knew that one of them, and the one I feared the most, was Pidcock. And in the end, despite the crash, because I'm sure that if that crash hadn't happened, or if the race had been different on that descent, Pidcock showed that he was indeed aiming to get as high a position as possible in the overall standings. And today he made his statement. Right now, he has a 34-second lead over Egan Bernal in that 10th position. For me, it's going to be difficult for him to catch up. It's going to be tough. But for example, Lenny Martinez might be more within reach, even though he's almost 6 minutes ahead. So, because today I did see the French rider suffering a lot in that group with Isaac Del Toro and with Pidcock himself. So, well, it's a questionable matter. We have to wait and see how things develop, because Egan can't do more than what he's already doing. I mean, I think he's already reached that performance ceiling that his team expected from him. The intentions he came here with were just that, to try to make it into the top 10 and to hold on as much as he can. We'll see, because these races are unpredictable. Anything can happen in the top rankings. But when the 9th place is already 6 minutes ahead of you, it's really hard to have any hope of catching up. There isn't. It must be that.
He gets what we in Colombia call la pájara, right?
Exactly. The ones who are up there. Exactly. The only candidate I see that could happen to is Lenny Martinez.
Nobody's talked about what happened at the finish. The guy was there, nearly fell, but he answered the boost. He got at the finish. He says, the boost give me more energy. Pay attention to that.
Who said that?
Oh. But hey, let's not pay any attention to that. But look, let me...
Sorry. Here I am. The last one. Here I am. Listen, here is Jonas Vingegaard making some comments that really surprised me. What did he say? It wasn't that bad. My legs are getting better. We saw something else. Well, let's see.
No, the bad thing would be if he said, I'm really bad and I'm already dying, because then he'd be giving them an opening. But he's not well. Look, and the truth is that Pogačar...
That statement, excuse me for a moment, Chemo. That statement about Pogačar, about the booze at Pogačar, we shouldn't just let that go by so quickly. Like, no, don't pay attention to it. Remember that you yourself always, Chemo, you're the one who brought up the story of a guy who's going to win a marathon at the Olympic Games, and someone jumped in and grabbed him by the shoulder, a Brazilian, and didn't let him finish in one of those. And some crazy guy gets in his way and knocks him down or does something to him because he's earning people's dislike. I enjoy watching him. I have fun with him.
Arrival this week?
They're going to go wild over that yellow jersey, but watch out.
That's a stadium. They don't have. I mean, those are statements from Lucho. They're not mine. I'm just watching them.
No, I know, but you're reading the information. I mean, you're seeing that they're booing and whistling at him, and all we're missing is some crazy person getting in his way, since he's made more people dislike him.
No, look, Lucho, you can't imagine the way they insulted Lance Armstrong in France.
Well, and that's it too.
That's it. They never anything to Chris.
They threw cups of urine at Chris Froome. I mean, but, well, those are just troublemakers. I mean, I can't believe that people can go against Pogačar just because he's simply the best. It's like if I try to go against Messi just because he's simply the best. I mean, I just can't wrap my head around it.
All right. How he's evolved.
The only thing I'm going to read to you is what they've
Sent me.
He also wrote,
Behavior.
"También ha evolucionado para mal." People's behavior has also become more aggressive.
Totally.
Because it was a different time. People today are more intolerant and aggressive.
All over the world, worldwide.
Yes.
But look, you experienced it at the Vuelta a España last year. See for yourselves.
Look at Pogačar's statements. This has also increased. Today there was a fantastic atmosphere, and he immediately added a touch of sarcasm, saying that there were also boos. Something that had happened there before. Those fans give us a lot of energy.
You have to be careful with what you say. Lucho is absolutely right.
That's why I brought in Guilherme's comments this morning. You complain that the flat stages are very boring, but don't you find it boring when a guy escapes alone in the mountains just to win by himself every time? That's boring. So look, it's true. The thoughts and feelings of many people who watch cycling make sense. All right, let's do it. No, let me handle that.
You have to enjoy it because I think it's
One of those. I wanted to say something brief about Egan Bernal. I know Egan Bernal. The toughest part is ahead, and he's better at it. He fell behind today because the climb was very short. He fell behind today because of that. Maybe he's that kind of rider. I see him finishing 8th or 7th around there at the end of the tour.
Hopefully. No, I would be happy just to see him finish in the top 10, considering he was someone who wasn't even considered by the team to race in the Tour de France. He was set to race the Vuelta, España, and Giro, and now look at him.
Look at the quality that kid has.
By the way, from a certain place. I won't say the name. They tell me that Pogačar looks more and more likely to ride the Vuelta a España.
Well, and another thing, we invite you to please give us a like and subscribe to the channel, right? We're going to try to see how we can solve the situation that has come up today, so we can once again bring you the excitement of the Tour de France with this group of professionals. You have the pH Plus there, my dear.
The water arrived. It arrived, Luchito.
My vitamin just arrived.
The water's here, Luchito.
Iñaki, for you and me, being over there on the other side of the ocean, we don't get anything, dear.
Treated drinking water, pH Plus.
I got it.
Thank you very much.
I have it there in the fridge. See, I have it there.
Thank you very much. Very kind of you. And we'll be waiting for you now on La Voz del Ciclismo. Bye.
Bye.